Time? 8 o'clock? Yeah. How much is it again? £10? £20? It's worth it though. Next up we have three acts booked for tonight, because it's the Gregson's 25th anniversary week, and this is the final evening. Graham promised us the bar will be open, and there'll be balloons and streamers and everything. I saw a balloon before somewhere.
What?
Oh well, I'll give him the balloons. So this is Silent Mark, ladies and gentlemen.
That's just over enthusiastic, that's not good. Hello. Right, I feel kind of bad because I'm kind of interrupting this night of quite nice music to basically just tell you stories from my life and a bunch of old guys. So I apologise for that already. If anyone is offended by swearing or anything like that, then I apologise in advance. I know not that many comedians start off with a kind of, warning, but then again, that's what I do. So my name is SilentMark. I want to talk to you a little bit tonight about technology. Technology has become a huge part of our life in general. I kind of noticed this. The thing is, we can't do anything at the moment without having kind of some sort of gadget on the end of our hand, without something with a button on it that makes life a little bit easier. Someday we'll be able to turn around and go, "Big right, baby, that's fine." But the thing is, I noticed it basically at the beginning of the year. Someone turned around to me, and I was working with them. They're a friend of mine. They've been a friend of mine for many, many years. And they came up to me at the end of the night and said, "Well, I'm going home now. I'm going home a bit early. I'll Facebook you." And to me, that was kind of like, well, why? You've known me for years. I mean, it's not like you haven't got any other means of communication. There's 3 other ways you can get in touch with me. Firstly, you can text me. And if you want to say something in 144 characters, realistically, it's not that important, so I can hear it next time I see you. Secondly, you can phone me, and that adds another, kind of piece of humanity, the kind of art of conversation, which we are somehow beginning losing. And thirdly, and heaven forfend we use this idea, you can actually come and see me. That uses the extra element of human contact, which we are, again, somehow losing. We are losing the art of human contact, we're losing the art of conversation. Language is getting a bit different as well. I noticed this, when you're in a group of people, you all kind of tell stories, you all try and make each other laugh. It's a normal thing that people do. They try and kind of top each other, make someone laugh that little bit more. In this group of people, one person did make us laugh a hell of a lot, and everyone in the group was laughing apart from one person who used the term lol. Has anyone got MSN or anything like that? Has anyone ever used the term lol? Yes. So you know what I mean, it's laugh out loud, basically. So someone wanted to kind of, cut out the whole human, involuntary human reaction of laughing to say 3 words they kind of typed once on a messenger. So I find that kind of pointless. Are we really losing everything that much that we're just going straight for the easiest thing? We're losing. It's going into social life now as well. You now meet friends and stuff like that on MySpace and Facebook, and a lot of people do. But also, I'll tell you this bit first. When I was younger, I went to what we call a LAN party. What happens there, I'm into computer games. If you ever go to a LAN party, basically, it's a bunch of computers in a room. You all sit down, play the same video game at the same time. That's about it, really. It's a laugh though. If you're into video games, it is a laugh because you're in a group of friends, you have a laugh, have a few drinks, throw things at the geekish guy. It's fine, it's a good time. Someone invited me to what they call an Xbox party, which I thought would be a similar thing, everyone goes around and plays on an Xbox together. Then realised that it wasn't that. The night of said party, they said, right, just go on Xbox, go onto the internet side of it, and we can play games there. Halfway through playing, I was sat there going, right, what I'm doing here is I'm sat alone in the house, in my pants, playing on an Xbox, getting drunk. I do that anyway. There's the thing I didn't get about it. He made it out like it was this big party. The only element of party there was organisation. If that's the only thing that makes it a party, then I've had more parties in my life. I didn't realise I wasn't that lonely. I don't think I went to that many parties, but the only element that you need is organisation to make it a party. And I've been to bloody tons. It's weird, it's got into love as well now. people are meeting on things like Match.com, things like that. And now I don't knock it. I'm a single bloke, but I wouldn't personally do it. But then again, I'm probably going to be the guy at 14 years old masturbating to Countdown. It'll be that kind of bad thing. I apologise for that, a little bit too graphic. No, yes, it's a bit weird. I find it strange. As I said, I am a single bloke, but mainly for the fact that I'm socially awkward. I don't do well in like one-on-one. I'm doing well now. I'm telling you stories from deep in my life. You know, I'm telling a bunch of strangers. How weird is that? But it's true. I'm bad in a kind of one-on-one interface, if you will. An example of this was I was in a group of friends and we were out in a nightclub. And someone came up to us who was a friend of one of our group, which we thought was good. They started talking, and I didn't speak much in this conversation. I wasn't very forthcoming, if you will. I didn't know this person, therefore I was nervous. So they were talking about the university she was going to. And it ended up being the same university as one of our other friends who wasn't with us at the time. And she said, well, it'd be a good idea to get to know him. It'd be quite good, you know. It'd be nice meeting someone from the same area in the university away from home. We're both in the same situation, we're both away from home, we both know no one. What's he like? And they said, yeah, you know, he's a nice bloke, he's fine. Just don't get him drunk. Well, okay, that's a bit weird. But this next bit, ladies and sirs, is the first thing, and last thing incidentally, of the conversation. This is the first and last bit that I said. They said, don't get him drunk. He's a nice bloke, don't get him drunk. This is what I said. Yes, don't get him drunk, because he'll try and suck off a dog. Right? You may laugh, you may think that's a bit weird, you may be sat there going, that is a bit strange, why have you said that? You may have thought that was just a story that came from my mind. No, that actually did happen. Right? He once drank a litre of vodka at a party and tried to suck off a friend's dog. This woman, who I didn't even know, who was slightly attractive, found this thing just absolutely bizarre. But this thing came from my head, and it was true. That's something I do in a normal situation with someone who could incidentally be a friend. What am I supposed to do with someone I'm attracted to? That was just a bit weird. My ex-girlfriend, the reason why I was attracted to her, I think, you know when you kind of break up with someone, you kind of think, yeah, they're a bitch. I wasn't like that. My ex-girlfriend is still kind of cool. The reason for it is because of her eccentricities, if you will. It was one of the things that attracted me. Because something I love is human defiance, kind of something that makes people a lot different from normal society. I don't mean the kind of knobs that throw bricks through windows. I'm talking about proper kind of human defiance. I'll give you 3 examples just before I go. The first one, I was waiting outside for my job one day, and someone was walking up the road, and people listen to their iPods and stuff like that while they're walking up the road. This person was listening to his iPod, singing his heart out and air drumming, but not just kind of a small tapping on the thing. No, this was proper. Like that while walking down the street. This guy didn't care who was watching, what anyone thought. He was enjoying himself, and that's the type of thing that I love. This next one was, I hope it's true. It's something I heard in a queue waiting for a comedy show, and I hope to God it's true, because if it's not, then whoever made it up was a genius. I was in the queue, and you know when it's somewhere you hear different conversations from around that place. This conversation I heard from this side, and it was a conversation that some people were having about apparently a girl they knew. Apparently she was getting mugged, which is a terrible thing, you know, already. But apparently during the mugging, this is what actually happened. Apparently during the mugging, she asked for her SIM card back. To me, I found that just a little bit beautiful, for the fact that during this terrible, terrible mugging, she found that she didn't want to have the inconvenience of texting everyone her new number, so asked the mugger for her SIM card back. Unfortunately, I didn't find out what happened to said SIM card, but wouldn't it just be fantastic if she did actually get it back? I think that would be great. The thing that kind of attracted to me, to my ex-girlfriend, was basically this one conversation that we had. We were talking about food, weirdly. Not weird food, but just we were talking about food. She turned around and said, yeah, I'm a vegetarian. I said, well, you're not, you had chicken the other day. She goes, well, yeah, I am kind of a vegetarian. I don't like eating cows and sheep and stuff like that because they've tasted freedom. What? Yeah, they've tasted freedom. You know, when you've got hens in a big shed, they haven't really tasted freedom, they don't know what it's like. I think it's kind of cruel to, you know, take that freedom away from them. And that's just a beautiful thought, isn't it? It's a different way of talking about animal cruelty. Isn't it cruel? Isn't it more cruel to take freedom away from someone than to take nothing away from someone who hasn't really had freedom? I thought that was a nice thing to say. So yeah, that was me. Thank you very much for listening. And I was talking to a friend of mine who knows about comedy, and she said the best way to finish off a gig is on a high note. So see you later. Cheers.